Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 2 and today we will cover what can you do there reading. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazana Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. Our objectives in today's lesson, we hope that at the end of this lesson, you will be able to scan a text for specific information and classify activities which can be done at a resort. Before we do this, let's make a quick revision on our last lesson. Last lesson, we had a conversation where we listened to a conversation between Ali and Imad. And both of them talked about, they were planning when can they play tennis. And we have learned in this conversation certain words regarding how to plan an activities and also how to agree on a certain time. We also have the questions about you to make questions for what kind of sport you like and whether you like them, you like to play those sports or you only like to watch them, and what is your preferred time to do certain sports. So we have answered this in our last lesson. Now, as for our lesson for today, I would like you first to think about any places that relates or you advise people to visit in Saudi Arabia. So when we talk about places to visit in Saudi Arabia, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Ideas or perhaps phrases or word comes to your mind when we talk about places. For example, I can think of the National Museum. And when I think of that place, as you will do, when you think of that place, let's talk about what kind of activities you can do there. For me, the activities we can do when we go to the National Museum, we can learn about culture, we can also learn about history of our country. And also, are there museum or historical sites there? Yes, in the museum usually there will be a small portrait of historical sites and also historical stories that talks or represent our history and also our culture. Not only this, but also we have in Saudi Arabia, we have an environmental places where people usually go there to either camping or just enjoy the scenery there. So, did you enjoy the natural environment around the kingdom? Of course we do, because we have an environment that differs from one region to another. And one of these natural environments that we can see is forests. So we have forests, we have seas, we have desert, we have different natural environments around Saudi Arabia. So, why is this important? Because the place you think of and the words you related to that place, I would like you now, when we read, to scan, to look for the word that you think of right now. So, here I'm going to ask you to think of a place that people should visit and relate that place to whatever you think of or whatever word you can think of. For example, for me, I thought of the National Museum and I have word that I listed, like for example, culture. I said that when we go to museum, we learn about culture. Not only culture, but also we learn about the history of our country. And also we do have natural environments or different natural environments like forests. So these three words, I'm going to scan them later on when I read, and I advise you to do the same. Just list the word you have thought of and try to scan it when you read the text later on. So, before we begin, I would like you please to open your books on page 31. I would like you to open your books on page 31 as we're going to start reading. Now, on page 31, we have a text about places to visit in Saudi Arabia. And now I'm going to read this text twice. The first time I'm going to read, you only have to listen only. And for the second time, I'm going to read while I point to the words that I'm reading. And what I need from you at that point is to follow with me while I read. So now I'm going to read it. Just listen to this text until I read it again. Places to visit in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's future. Our country has many assets. To build a good future, we have a vision for Saudi Arabia. Part of the vision is to share our strong culture and beautiful environment with citizens, residents, and visitors. We are building many hotels, roads, and museums to bring visitors to see our country and history. We can help look after our natural environment so all people can enjoy it. We are building and planning places for people to visit where they can learn about our history, culture, and nature. They can enjoy relaxing holidays too. Environmental tourism. In the mountains of Al-Baha, we protect our forests, parks, and reserves so that everyone can visit these areas and enjoy nature without harming it. Family beach holidays. We are developing Al-Ugair to be a beach resort with many outdoor activities suitable for all ages, such as a water park and the Ocean World Center. Cultural tourism. At Al-Ula, we are making the world's largest open-air museum. Visitors can see important historical sites and traditional art. So now we have read the text about the Saudi Arabia's or the places in Saudi Arabia's. As you have noticed, we had talked about its future in this heading, and here we talked about the tourism, environmental tourism, and here we talked about the holidays, what is the perfect place for families to go on holidays, and also cultural tourism. We talked about the place where people who like arts can enjoy, go there and enjoy the art. So now I'm going to read again, but this time I'm going to point to the word that I'm reading. What I would like you to do is to follow with me while I read. Saudi Arabia's future. Our country has many assets. To build a good future, we have a vision for Saudi Arabia. Part of the vision is to share our strong culture and beautiful environment with citizens, residents, and visitors. We are building many hotels, roads, and museums to bring visitors to see our country and history. We can help look after our natural environment so all people can enjoy it. We are building and planning places for people to visit where they can learn about our history, culture, and nature. They can enjoy relaxing holidays too. Environmental tourism. In the mountains of Al-Baha, we protect our forests, parks, and reserves so that everyone can visit these areas and enjoy nature without harming it. Family beach holidays. We are developing Al-Ugair to be a beach resort with many outdoor activities, suitable for all ages, such as water park and the Ocean World Center. Cultural tourism. At Al-Ula, we are making the world's largest open-air museum. Visitors can see important historical sites and traditional art. So now we have read this text twice, and now it is our turn to scan for the words that we already wrote in the beginning before we began reading. So for me, I talked about culture, that we have a national museum where we can go there and enjoy culture, we can enjoy history, and also we have places for natural environment like forests. So how can we do scan again? We can scan by only following line by line, and when we're looking for the word that we already have written before we start. So here, for example, we have seen the word culture. Culture. So here, this is the first word that we already wrote in the beginning of this lesson. Also, when we continue to scan, we are looking. It's not important that you understand everything, but it's important that you look for the words that you already underlined. Here we have, for example, history. So here we have the word culture and history. These are the words that I wrote, and I said that we have places to learn about history, to learn about culture of our country. Also about the environmental, nature environments, we talked about it, and we said one example of this environmental tourism or nature environment, we see forests. So here we can scan like this, and here we can find the word that we already wrote. So here we have many ideas about places where to go, and also this text classify those places. So people who would like to enjoy environment, they can go to forests, parks, and people who would like to hang out with family more, we have places like Al-Ugair Beach. And people who like culture and art, they can go to Al-Ula, where they can enjoy the open air museums and also the traditional art that is there at Al-Ula. So now, compare the ideas that you already wrote, and before reading with the text, as we did, just list the words that you already wrote, and also try to compare them with the ideas that is written in the text. You will see certain similarities between them. Now, couple of questions. Here we have talked about certain words that may be new to you. Let's discuss those words. The first one is, what does the word assets mean? What does the word assets mean? We said that Saudi Arabia has many assets. So what exactly we mean by the word assets? What do you think? Very well. Here we can see the answer. Assets, we mean by assets benefits, good things, advantages. This is what do you mean by assets. If you have a good thing, or if you have many advantages, we can say that you have assets. And Saudi Arabia has many assets in regards of the resources, in regards of the nature. We have many assets. The other question is, what are some other words for vision? We have talked about the Saudi vision, the 2030 Saudi vision. So is there other words, or are there other words for the word vision? Very good. We can think of them, like, for example, dream, plan, hope, imagination. All of these words are similar to the word vision. That it means you have a dream and you are planning to make that dream happen. Also, the other question here we have is, what is Saudi Arabia doing to share its culture with citizens and visitors? So what exactly, according to the text we have read, what is Saudi Arabia doing to share? To share, it means to let the visitors, to let its citizens know about its culture. There are many things mentioned in the text, so let's read it together. They are building hotels, roads, and museums, and they are looking after the natural environment, and they are building places where people can learn about the country's history, and build places where people can enjoy relaxing holidays. So we can call these places, for example, here, we are building places where people can learn about country's history. We can call these places museums. And also we build places where people can enjoy relaxing holidays. We can call these places resorts, where people can enjoy and spend their holidays. Also, the last question we have is, what are the three types of tourism that the text focuses on? What are the three types of tourism that the text focuses on? If you remember that here in this text, we have three different types of tourism. We talked about it. And so what is the first type? Very good. The first type is environmental tourism. For example, when we go to see forests and parks. And the second one is a family beach tourism, when people can go to beaches. And also for the third one is cultural tourism, where people can go and enjoy the traditional art and the open air museum. So as I said, here we have the environmental tourism, like the forests in Al-Baha, and here we have family beach holidays like Al-Ugair Beach, and here we have the cultural tourism like Al-Ula. So here we have different types of tourism in Saudi Arabia. And now think about what activities you can do in each places. This is the second exercise, and make notes in the chart. So here, as we said, since we're talking about three types of tourism, it means that we're talking about three different places. So what we need to do here in this chart, we should talk about the kind of activities that we can do at each place. For example, the first tourism we talked about is the environmental tourism in Al-Baha city. And the activity we said we can do there is walk in the mountains. This is one of the activities. Now, let's talk about the other two the types of tourism, or the other two places, and write down what kind of activities we can do there. For example, Al-Ugair, we said that Al-Ugair Beach is the place where we can go to enjoy a family beach holidays, and this is a kind of tourism. So, what do you think? What is the kind of activity we can do when we go to Al-Ugair Beach? Very well. So we can see we can do many outdoor activities suitable for all ages, such as water park and the Ocean World Center. We can do this. And also we can ride boats, we can swim, we can enjoy beach games. So there are a lot of things we can do when we go to Al-Ugair Beach. And Al-Ula. And we said that Al-Ula is the kind of place where people can go and enjoy the cultural tourism. So what do you think? What is the kind of activity we can do when we go to Al-Ula according to the text? Very good. We can see the important historical sites and traditional art, and also enjoy the open air museums. So here are only, this is a sample, this is an example. You can think of more activities to write in this chart. So this is only an example of the kind of activities we can do when we go to these places, Al-Baha cities and Al-Baha city, and also Al-Ugair Beach and Al-Ula. Now, the third exercise we have is which place do you like best and why? Share ideas with a partner and support your opinion. So let's talk about the places here we have talked about in this text. We talked about three different places. The first one is Al-Baha, and the second one is Al-Ula, and the third one is Al-Ugair Beach. So let's talk about these places. Which one of them do you like and why? So what I would like to do, for example, if you like Al-Baha, you can say that I like Al-Baha because it has, I can enjoy nature, I can go to the forests, I can enjoy the weather of Al-Baha, I can also go to different parks and just enjoy nature. So this is one of the reasons you can say, or you can use to support your opinion about Al-Baha. And if some of you chooses, for example, Al-Ula, you can say that I like Al-Ula because I would like to enjoy or to learn more about the historical sites in there, and also to enjoy the formation of those stones like we can see here. And also you can enjoy the traditional art that is in Al-Ula. So also you can use this to support your opinion when you are choosing Al-Ula. And next we have Al-Ugair. If you choose as the Al-Ugair Beach, you can say simply that because I like to enjoy the water games, I like to enjoy the beach, I would like to walk on the beach and ride boats and also to swim at the sea. So you have a lot of reason to give if you choose Al-Ugair. So you can use it to support your opinion. So just think of any of these three places and tell us why did you choose it. And when you do choose, you need to use either one sentence or two just to support your opinion so people can understand why you chose this place. And now, underline all the example of present progressive in the text and why do they use present progressive here. So here we're going to elicit some text or some sentences that was written in present progressive tense. For example, in paragraph 2, we can see this sentence, we are building. We are building. So here in the second paragraph, we should underline this, we are building many hotels. And in the fourth paragraph, we have the other sentence, which is, we are building and planning places. We are building and planning places. So these should be underlined too. And also, with the paragraph number 6, we have this sentence. We are developing al-Ugair. We are developing al-Ugair. This is also should be underlined. And with paragraph number 7, at al-Ula, we are making. We are making. So here we have 5 verbs for written in the present progressive. The first one is building in paragraph 2. The other one is building and planning in paragraph 4. And the other one is developing in paragraph 6. And in paragraph 7, we are making. So all of these verbs should be underlined. And why? What do you think? Why those verbs were written in the present progressive? They were written in the present progressive to show that these actions are not only happening now, but are also plans for the near future. As we have learned, we said that we use the present progressive not only for the actions that are happening right now, but also for the actions that will happen in the near future. So this is why the text was written in the present progressive tense. And now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.